After a long silence, Jimin finally responded to Jungkook's words. Fans couldn't hold back tears. Revolving Heart's pleading face after several days of Korean entertainment world enlivened by Jungkook's meaningful statement about himself and Jimin, Jimin finally spoke up. This moment instantly shook the hearts of the ARMY around the world. No one expected. Jimin's response was not only gentle and honest, but also full of emotions that left millions of fans speechless. In the live broadcast that took place last night, Jimin appeared to be wearing a simple beige sweater, with a calm facial expression, but his eyes exuded sincerity. When a fan asked about Jungkook's previous statement saying, "Jimin is the one who always makes me feel like home," Jimin smiled a little before finally saying quietly, "I saw him, and I can only say, those words came from someone who knows me better than anyone." The sentence is short, but it contains deep meaning. The ARMY who watched the live immediately filled the comments column with crying and heart emojis. Some even admitted that they could not hold back tears because of the honesty behind Jimin's words that felt so sincere. He continued, "Jungkook always knew how to make people feel cared for, even without a lot of words. I'm grateful to have walked this far with her, not just as a coworker, but as someone who knows what togetherness really means." Jimin's face looked teary, and in an instant, the moment went viral on all social media platforms. The hashtags #Jimin response to Jungkook and #Jungkook moment immediately became the #1 trending in Korea and several other countries. Fans shared video snippets of the moment, with heartwarming comments such as, "Jimin's words are pure love and they don't have to say much, but we can feel everything." Shortly after the live ended, Jungkook reportedly left a comment on Weverse that read, "I'm grateful too. The world feels lighter when you are there." The message was just a few words, but enough to make the atmosphere in the fandom turn into a sea of emotions. Many consider this to be a form of gentle communication between two best friends who have gone through a lot together, from trainee days to becoming global superstars. Some Korean media also highlighted this emotional interaction, calling it the most sincere moment between two BTS stars who always take care of each other behind the fame. One journalist even wrote, "What Jimin and Jungkook showed tonight was not just the closeness of group mates, but a form of deep trust that can only be formed from true friendship." After the live, Jimin had uploaded a photo on Instagram the night sky with one simple sentence in the caption, "For every light that never fades." Many fans believe the sentence was an indirect reply to Jungkook, who earlier in the interview said that Jimin was one of the lights that never went out in my life. That night became one of the most emotional moments for ARMY this year. Many wrote on community forums that small interactions like these remind them of the reason why BTS is so loved, not just because of their music, but because of the sincerity, friendship, and human feelings they always show. Some fans even said that Jimin's words felt like a hug to everyone who longed for warmth. A fan from Japan wrote, "When Jimin spoke, it felt like the world stopped for a moment." He didn't need to explain at length. His eyes were enough to let us know how much Jungkook meant to him. The emotional evening concluded with an emotional message from ARMY around the world. Jungkook is not just two names, but two hearts that understand each other in the midst of a noisy world. After Jimin's emotional live broadcast ended, the atmosphere in the fandom was still not calm. Thousands of fans still fill social media with Haru's comments, quotes from Jimin's words, and little theories about the deep connection between the two. However, the most shocking thing happened a few hours later, when Jungkook secretly updated his Weverse account at 2 a.m. Korean time. Jungkook posted a black and white photo looking like a music studio scene with one empty seat and a small lamp lit in the middle of the room. There was no visible face, but the atmosphere was warm and at the same time melancholy. His caption contained only two words, "You know." In a matter of minutes, ARMYs all over the world went wild. Thousands of comments flooded the post. Most were convinced that the upload was a form of subtle response to Jimin's previous live. Many interpreted the word "you know" as Jungkook's personal message to Jimin, a simple phrase that means, "You know how much I appreciate you." Not stopping there, some fans with keen eyes noticed another detail in the photo. On the table appeared a glass of coffee and a piece of paper with a vague inscription, which, after zooming in, turned out to be TTU. ARMY immediately linked it to The Truth Untold, BTS's emotional song that is often considered a symbol of the meaningful relationship between the two. A few hours later, Jimin liked the post on Weverse, without writing any comments. But for fans, such a small act was more than enough to make the hashtags #YouKnowJungkook and #TTUreunion instantly shot to the world's trending topics. Korean and international media began to highlight the moment. Articles popped up with titles like "The Unspoken Connection Between Jimin and Jungkook Melts Fans' Hearts" and "BTS's Emotional Exchange Reminds Fans of Their Unbreakable Bond." Even some music media refer to the interaction as a form of artistic communication between two musicians who understand each other through expressions and symbols, not just words. The following night, a fan managed to record the moment when Jungkook was spotted at HYB's recording studio, visibly wearing a gray hoodie and black hat, walking briskly with earphones in his ears. He didn't speak a word to the media, but his gaze showed deep focus, as if he were preparing for something important. Some ARMY members began speculating that Jungkook might be preparing a music project inspired by his interactions with Jimin. A fan even wrote, "Whenever Jungkook and Jimin share an emotional moment, there's always a beautiful piece born after." The next day, when Jimin shows up at the airport for a flight to Tokyo, a reporter asks about Jungkook's message on Weverse. With a gentle smile, Jimin replied briefly, "Yes, I know." The sentence was almost identical to Jungkook's caption, and the ARMY immediately lost control. They called that moment the perfect answer, as if the two hearts were speaking in a language only they could understand. The hashtag #YouKnowIknow was trending on Twitter in less than an hour. Fans flooded the platform with old photos of the two of them, snippets of a concert video in which Jungkook and Jimin stare at each other on stage, and emotional comments like, "No need for words of love, they know each other," and "Jungkook is the softest form of honesty." Amid the euphoria, reports emerged from one of Korea's top entertainment journalists that HYBE is preparing a mini-documentary titled The Untold Harmony, which will highlight the relationship and work dynamics between BTS members during the military hiatus and individual projects. Speculation immediately mounted that Jimin and Jungkook would appear together in one of the episodes, especially after their recent emotional interaction. Some internal sources even mentioned that one of the main themes of the documentary was the emotional attachment behind BTS' global success. It makes the fans even more impatient. Many wish they could see the other side of Jimin and Jungkook's relationship, not just as two big stars, but also two best friends who support each other in every phase of life. That night, Jimin posted a photo on Instagram story. Seoul's night sky decorated with a full moon, with a small handwriting in the bottom corner, for every word left unsaid. In less than 5 minutes, Jungkook reposted the same photo, but with an additional one sentence underneath, "You don't have to say it." ARMY really exploded. Many wrote that the moment was like a continuation of the silent dialogue that began since Jimin's Live the Night before. The two sentences felt like pieces of poetry, one written by Jimin and the other perfected by Jungkook.